my God, no!
Amy Pascal!
So, now you know the truth. No matter. You kids, you're Meshuggah with your lasers and your ray guns and your spaceships. Nothing can save you now, I guess.
We should have known.
The lack of taste, the dictatorial attitude.
Well, first there's the brandy breath, and then there's the tits. How could we have been so blind?
You have blind spots. That's why I'm showing you something different today. You're tired of the Star Trek Discovery, you know, with the lasers and the ears and the Mikey Spock. So be it. I'm giving you a chance today to right a wrong. Yes, my friends, I'm going to give you a chance to reassess a movie. It's one of my favorite movies, in fact.
Oh, God! No!
Oh, yes. Since you avoided it all this time, I'm going to give you a chance to give it a proper, decent review. Ghostbusters 2016. I mean, can you believe it? Not everyone gets a second chance at this. So we gotta make the most of it, you know what I mean?
Oh, fuck me. No! You're inhuman!
Just kill us, you sick bitch!
Oh, don't be like that. All you have to do is give it a good review. So we'll watch, we'll have a little nosh, and then we'll watch it again and again until finally you see the light.
No!
Yes! Okay, now everybody ready? Everybody sitting comfortably? We ready to start? Okay, let's start the show.
Whatever you do, don't look at the television. Just don't look at the television.
Okay, now how do you start this fakakta thing? Okay, let's see. HDMI 1, I think? Oh, I never could figure this out. Rodrigo, little help, please.
Holy shit! Doomcock!
So what? Doomcock is like John McClane?
Rambo?
Jack Bauer?
No, Doomcock is Doomcock, and you're not airing that shit on my watch.
Holy smokes, the jig is up! I'll get you yet, Midnight Egg or whatever. I'm out of here. Goodbye, boys and girls. See you on the red carpet at the premiere of Spider-Man Bob. I'm home.
How did you know Andre was really Amy Pascal?
Andre has taste. The idea that he would make you watch Star Trek Discovery didn't add up. I knew it couldn't be Andre, and logically, it was a creature or dastardly villain such as myself testing your wills and torturing you for a reason. Andre has much better taste, so I set you up with what you needed to find out who it was and had you lead me to her. And as soon as I realized her plan was to show you Ghostbusters, I knew I had to stop her. Plus, you know, the tits.
Told you so. Wait, you used us as bait? What if she had just killed us right away?
I can't believe I thought you guys were crazy. I owe you an apology.
Wait, you thought we were crazy?
How can we ever thank you, Doomcock?
What the hell is going on?
Painful as it is, keep kicking the crap out of Star Trek Discovery. It is a cinematic holocaust, the decimation of a once great franchise, the betrayal of every true Star Trek fan for 50 years. Never give up, never surrender.
We won't. We hate that garbage.
Yeah, we can watch these last few just to get a few more licks in.
Then my work is done. Oh, and Tom may need some lorazepam or something before he has a panic attack. Just a suggestion from an evil doctor.
Right then, let's get back to work. We will destroy STD once and for all.
Where is the real Andre?
Guys, over here.
Wait, have you been here the whole time?
Well, I was in the closet until one of those nice robots let me out. Who was the guy in the helmet, by the way?
Oh, that was just a friend. So now that you'll have to excuse us, sir, we have a show to take down.
What show?
Star Trek Discovery, of course.
Oh, that's still on? Isn't that cancelled yet?
How long were you in the closet, sir?
Well, you took your sweet time getting here, so I kind of lost track of time.
Sorry about that. Well, let's get going, crew. We have work to do.
Who's gonna clean up all this shit? Not me.
Captain, incoming message.
Intruder alert on Deck 8. Enter authorization code. Command Command functions are offline. Automatic defense procedures initiated. Diagnostic complete. Sensors are functioning normally.
Open hailing frequencies, welcome to the latest edition of the Trek Logs. I am your captain, Mr. Rob Robot Shlomo, and with me, as always, is my first officer, Commander Tom Connors.
About time, sir. About time.
It's about damn time. And joining us again is our resident Andorian, the first commander, not first commander, but she's a full commander, Commander Ren. From Ren
Glad
Rants.
to be aboard.
Yes, you are. And what's a Trek log without our favorite resident supervillain, the one, the only, the man who's going to bestow the entire continent of Australia upon me when he conquers the Earth, Mr. Dictor Van Doomcock.
Hail, Captain Robb! Hail, Tom! Hail, Ren! And hail all ye seekers of wisdom and truth trying to get to the bottom of this horrible thing called Star Trek Discovery. I can't believe we're back here again. I am feeling trauma.
Yes.
Well, in a lot of the comments, they say they'll actually listen to us instead of watching the shows. So.
We'll be saving them from a fate worse than death.
Yes, we will. Okay, so let's just jump right in. Okay, since the best way to just get over just tear the Band-Aid right off. You know what I mean? So, okay, the Discovery is being repaired. Saru, he's going to the transporter. He's going to meet up with Mikey Suspot. The name of the episode. See, that's how eager I am to get this over with.
The end.
The end. The war within, the war without, the war within. But unlike the Beatles, Within You, Without You, this one is nowhere near as good. So, but anyway. The Discovery's being repaired. Sarah is going to meet up with Mikey Spock, and guess who beams up on board? It's Captain Empress Felipa Georgiou Augustus Tiberius EIEIO or whatever. I don't know. Mel Brooks is writing her titles.
So the only thing she's missing is a goatee.
I know. It's the dumbest fucking thing I've ever seen. Well, anyway, they're called the sick bay.
Quite aesthetic, though.
So anyway, they have this moment. Sarah was going to sick bay. They have this moment. Ash Tyler is, they're trying to bring him around. Blah blah blah. Yes, he's a Klingork. He's a double agent. Okay, whatever. I don't give a shit. Okay, Saru. Okay. They're trying to access Tyler Vox's memories. They're programming to lock Varel, programming them to infiltrate Starfleet. So anyway, but Tyler Vox, he's actually feeling remorse about killing Dr. Culber. And he thinks he should be thrown in a brig, so why not put him there? He's dangerous.
That is the dumbest scene in that whole episode. When Doug
I'm
Jones...
still so angry about them doing that, because this Star Trek pretends that it's going to be this cool progressive 2018 27 whatever, it pretends it's going to be cool and progressive, and instead it buries your gays basically immediately. Killing off gay characters is actually a trope because it happens so fucking often, and so they make this stupid nothing plot where fucking Tyler Vox kills him for no reason at all, and now now he's dead, and that has very little actual impact on the plot, but they killed one of the gays, so good job, Star Trek, for being progressive.
And
A+.
And they killed an actual character. That's what made things. Dr. Culber was an actual character.
One of the few people whose names we can remember because he was actually ever so slightly likable.
Well, it's even worse because you have... Oh, go ahead, Doomcock. Go ahead.
I was just saying, I never thought he had much character development. I don't think anyone on this show does have any character development. I mean, the gay couple for me is Bortus and Clyden on the Orville, and compared to that, I mean, these are gays in name only, and you might as well kill them because really, honestly, I mean, they weren't a couple. There was no love of anyone on this show. No real relationships. As shallow as like the shallowest leaky kidding wadey pool in the yard. Honestly,
definitely more the principle of the thing than any compliment to their execution of any of the relationships on this show. Because, we get like lip service about how much they loved each other and like one or two brief scenes, but we don't actually get any real time with these characters to watch them develop any kind of real connection for us to care about. So they introduce the gays and then kill one of them immediately and then move on with the story.
Yeah.
And so that's what we get.
Yeah, so anyway, okay. So Saru, they go back to bridge. Saru is there. Okay, they're boarded. Cornwell comes on with Sarek. Ooh, with Obi-Wan Sarek. Yes. And he's a bargain basement Obi-Wan Kenobi now. So anyway, Sarek mind melds with Saru. Yeah, that always ends. That's going to end well. And they get confirmation that Lorca is dead. Bye Lorca. So he wanted to make the Empire great again, and he ended up dead. So anyway, Cornwell shocked at Lorca's deception. She thought Discovery was destroyed, but turns out they're not. We were all wishing it was destroyed, weren't we? So she realizes she's been knocking boots with the evil Lorca. So, yes, you want to know who's making love to your old lady? It's evil Lorca. So anyway, they recount the history of the war, and it's that they've lost the war. This is how incompetent the Federation is in this series. They haven't been beaten by a superior enemy. They've been losing because of their own ineptitude. Really, it's a miracle that the Federation has mastered interstellar travel at all. Given that this is the level of intelligence they have. So anyway, Burnham, Mikey Sue Spock notes there's no logic to the targets, and Sarek explains each of the great houses is out for itself. Ooh, because she's Mikey Spock and she knows everything. I hate her. I really fucking hate her.
I do too. I can't stand the sight of her.
So anyway, they order all the Mirror Universe information deleted from the ship, and that's how they get around that. So that
right.
But there's a wrinkle in everything now because they're out of mushrooms, so they can't use the spore drive.
Hey, I get upset too when I'm out of magic mushrooms that transport me to different realms of the universe.
I was gonna say,
and
can't
pepperoni.
They just find a dealer? Yeah, right.
They could just throw Saru in there. He's a chewed up mushroom.
Hey man, we're out of mushrooms, man. Like we need to get more peyote. So anyway, yada yada yada. I'm losing the will to.
Are you
live.
to the end of the episode yet, where they decide to use Georgiou like not con?
Okay, let's just jump right to that. Okay,
because there's enough shit I got to bitch about earlier in the episode too. So
okay, let's just jump to that. Blah blah blah. Nobody cares. Georgiou is going to be the con of this thing. Once again, Alex Klutzman recycling a plot
point.
Was
directed by Orsi, wasn't it? Or was that the last one?
This one was directed by David Solomon, it looks like.
David Solomon.
Okay, Orsi did the last one. Never mind.
He did? I didn't know that.
Yeah. Well...
He did.
How could you tell? Maybe somebody ghostwritten.
Because his name is just big in your fucking face on that annoying opening when it says directed.
I think
by
I
Robert
skipped
Orsi.
it. I fast forwarded.
Okay. All right, Tom. Okay, you've had to subject yourself again to this nightmare. Okay. Walk us through. Likes, dislikes. Go ahead. The floor is yours.
Well, there is no real fucking likes in this episode at all. Let's be honest. Dislikes all around across the board because it's one of the most boring episodes. And I said this before we started, and I stand by it. I love some of the most talky episodes of the original Star Trek and Next Generation and so on because those have some of the best character moments we don't give a shit about these characters, so there's nothing here. And it starts off when we have a Smallville moment, mind you. Anybody who's seen that show knows exactly what I'm fucking talking about. When fucking Saru sits there and says, well, I don't see any part of the Klingon in you still, so I'm going to let you be free. You know, it was like another episode, because like on every episode of Smallville, something would take Clark over or somebody else on the show, and they would kill like 30 fucking people. But by the end of the episode, I
can magically sense you're good to go, bro.
Yeah, by the end of the episode, they would explain to the cops or whatever was going on. They'd be like, "Oh, Clark, I trust him. Okay, we'll let you go." It's like, no, that's not how it worked. The FBI would be crawling all over this fucking place because it's like, give me a break here. And it's the same thing here, because then we go from that extreme to the very end of the next episode we'll get to, and that's just as bad. But, just that moment. And then you have the fucking moment where you're talking about the gay couple, and you have Anthony Rapp's character come up, and he's like, do you feel anything, and blah blah blah, and Tyler Vox sitting there shedding a tear saying, oh yeah, I remember, but I blah blah blah, I feel bad and good. And it's like, okay, what did that scene accomplish? It's like, okay, it just makes Anthony Rapp look like a dick, even though he has every right to say this shit.
But the other thing too is like, just their way of solving a problem. So they need a map of all the underground shit on Kronos. So they jump the ship inside the planet, and then they use drones to map it. Why not just use the fucking drones?
Right. Well, that would take logic, Rob. You're not thinking correctly. God.
The other thing too is, I mean, I can't remember if it's this one or the next one. There's an Orion trading post set up on Kronos. I'm like, and you just have all these different alien races just walking around Kronos that you've been deliberately saying that the Klingons are xenophobic. Yeah, they're just gonna let somebody set up a shop set up a Trader Joe's on Kronos. Yeah, that makes fucking sense.
Yeah, they're open-minded. They're absolutely open-minded. They have humans walking around buying stuff from the Orions. I mean, it's insane. Yeah. And then that ending, the teaser at the end of the last episode, when we get to that with Section 31 and the badge, that's one of the worst things I've ever seen.
What I was referring to. Yeah.
I mean, we'll get to that, but Jesus Christ. I mean, and this whole thing with, we're out of mushrooms. Well, shit, let's just grow some more. It'll only take 5 minutes. And they do the whole planet. They put the whole planet on the mushrooms. They just have them down there, and I don't know, bullshit, some kind of, I don't know, vitamins? How did they grow them so fast?
Miracle Grow.
Yeah, that's what it is. Oh, God, it's just so stupid. The whole thing is just...
I mean, it's just like a season of filler. Like, yeah. And this episode was just an episode of filler in a season of filler to try and explain the convoluted, wonky-ass plot that they threw together here. Like, it's just a...
Yeah, this episode was to tie up everything for this season. Yeah. That's what it was.
Yeah, no, I know. The plot was such a mess that they literally had to spend an entire episode, like, tying up all the loose ends, dangling everywhere, because it was just so all over the place, and the writing was just so sloppy, and the characterization was so lazy. So, we have like half of the bridge crew that makes no impression at all, and then we see them again in the trailer in season 2, and we're just like, whoever that is, cool. All right, I don't know that person's name, but I think I remember seeing them once. Sure. Oh, that person's still alive? All right. Like, it leaves so little of an impression that I actually had to go back and like reread an entire summary of the episode because I barely remembered it at all. This isn't like I didn't rewatch this show after I finished reviewing it because I didn't want to. So it's just, most of it is just faded from my memory, and all that's left is a bitter taste in my mouth.
Well, this episode was written by somebody named Lisa Randolph. Okay, here's her writing credits. Okay, Being Human. Okay, that was a BBC show. Okay, people seem to like it.
But I love trashy teen shows, so.
Yeah. Hawthorne. I have no idea what that is. Dollhouse. I know of Dollhouse.
Show.
Yeah, it's a Jar Jar Abrams. No, it's
not great. I didn't watch that one though, but I've heard it's okay.
Yeah. Josh Whedon, that's who it is.
Okay. The Shield. She wrote 21 episodes. She was script coordinator on 21 episodes. Okay, these aren't even writing credits. They're this is miscellaneous crew credits. She is a script coordinator. She was script coordinator on Desperate Housewives. Let's go to her 9 writing credits. She wrote 2 episodes of Jessica Jones. 2 episodes. She wrote these 2 episodes of Star Trek Discovery. She wrote Rain. I don't know what that is. Wait, you're gonna like this. You're gonna like this. She wrote an episode of Rush. She wrote 7 episodes of Being Human. She wrote 1 episode of Hawthorne. She wrote 2 episodes of The Shield, and she wrote 1 episode of Gilmore Girls. and she wrote something called Baseball Wives, the TV movie. And she was an actress. She appeared in Much Ado About Nothing, and credited as additional cast. Oh,
well, that is embarrassing. I mean, that is awful, because The Shield was uniformly excellent. So this woman can actually write. I mean, look, there's no way, 2 ways about it. The Shield was a masterpiece, and there wasn't one bad episode in it. So the fact that she can write this garbage means she just does not give a damn, or Kurtzman is rewriting her and basically forcing her to write like that.
I have a feeling what's happening is they're basically just trying to get all these writers to conform to this bizarre fucking plot. And so they're like, all right, I'll try to fit that in, I guess. And so this is what we get, is just this kind of convoluted, half-hearted mess where you can now and then almost see like the inkling that someone was trying to do something here and there, but it just, none of it comes together into anything coherent.
Yeah. There's no connective tissue between the plot, the actual writing, and the out. It seems like they were given an outline. This is okay. This, and you have to write around this.
Yeah, you've got the skeleton, you've got the skin, but there's no muscle in there.
Yeah, and she didn't have enough time to flesh it out.
But there's nothing of substance that really brings this series together, and it's a damn shame because there's so many talented actors involved. They clearly have a huge budget, so they could make something incredible. They clearly at least partially have some talented writers, but the writers don't get to do anything because they have to conform to this bizarre fucking story. And you know how they could have avoided all of this? By not doing a prequel series. By just not doing that. But now we get, what, 4 more? Fuck me. Oh.
Yeah, that's true, but I think Kurtzman's incompetent. I don't think he can write a good thing to save his life, even if it was a sequel. I mean, there is just the atrocities in this are endless. Not just canon violations, but simple violations of logic and insults to human sentience.
Just bad writing.
It's terrible. I mean, in The Shield, you guys have seen The Shield, haven't you?
Actually make it worse because it makes it more obvious just how bad it is.
There's a scene in Act 4 which is supposed to be a character moment where Tyler Vach is being confronted by Mikey Sue, and you know he's trying to give her an out, and you know, and she says no, I don't want to, and you know, this is
Are you thinking of the last episode?
No, this is the same. This is the same episode we're talking about.
Because she says she can't. She looks at him and she sees Bach's eyes, not his, or whatever. And
yeah, well,
feels his hands on her throat and all that crap.
Yeah, they tried to make it a character episode, but like I said, the character is just so unlikable and unrelatable that everything just falls flat. So, but they don't even know how to get basic characterization right. It's so bad.
Well, and to go to what Doomcock was kind of saying too, as far as the Shield being such a great show and she being such a big part of that, the writer that is, maybe it was just because she was left holding the bag on this shit. Because there is so much shit she had to tie up in this episode.
That's kind of what I feel like too. Is just, poor any writer doing a single episode who's not in charge of this whole thing all at once. Because trying to keep that straight while writing around this plot is difficult. The reason that the other Star Trek series could have so many guest writers and things like that was because the episodes could mostly stand on their own. Mm-hmm. Like, you could tune into any episode of Star Trek and pretty much be able to surmise some kind of a coherent story if you hadn't seen the entire season up to that point. You can't do that with this. If you watch any one of these episodes and you haven't seen the previous episode, you have no idea what's happening.
They had a place they wanted to end. They felt they wanted to end here, And they said by hook or by crook, hell or high water, that's where they're going to end. They went off on this tangent. Like, okay, guys, this isn't going to work. No, this is where we end it. No, you don't understand. This isn't going to work. The way you wrote it, it is not going to work. No, but this is where we're going to end it.
Well, she was told to make it work, and she was basically probably told how certain things were supposed to go anyway. So it was probably half written for her.
Yeah.
On that end. And, you know, to just kind of push it along and get into the last episode anyway, because that's where the beef of everything kind of goes to. You know, it's just, this episode just, it reminded me how much of how they crammed way too much into one season. There was like 2 or 3 storylines that would normally consist of a season themselves of any other show. You have the Klingon War. Mm-hmm. You also have the Tyler Vox shit, which goes along with the Klingon War. Then you have Lorca's fucking deal, which leads into the Mirror Universe shit. On top of that, we have how many episodes with Rainn Wilson?
Oh, God.
So here
at least 2.
Yeah, I thought it was 3, but yeah, you're probably right. At least 2. But that's just it. It's like, here we are with all this shit piled into one season. Now, if you're going to do this, you either have to, you know, pick and choose one or the other, or not both, because both of them conflicted too much with each other. You know what I'm saying? To where you had way too much going on, to where this episode was just a cyclone of, we have to tie all this shit up so that when we get to this next episode that sets up all this shit for season 2 that we have planned. Because at this point, they already kind of knew where they were going with this.
Gretchen Berg and Aaron Harbert's names are actually on the final episode.
Yeah, they took the fall for the budget overages that resulted actually from the reshoots of the first 5 episodes, which I guess really is their fault because they okayed scripts that were excrement. So yeah, but it wasn't there just that they miscounted or anything. It was because of the reshoots.
Well, and we got confirmation with my interview with Nick Myers where he basically said, you know, nobody knew who was in charge. So we know there was a ton of chaos behind the scenes on this thing. So there was nobody guiding this ship through this whole thing.
They probably looked at Kurtzman, hey kid, you know, you wanna run this thing? Okay. And no, Alex, do you want to be showrunner? Okay, yeah, I'll be showrunner. And
I did the mummy.
Alex Kurtzman starts every sentence with "and." Have you noticed that? And he writes like it. He writes like that.
He's just a horrible hack. I mean, I don't know why they keep failing this guy upwards. I mean, when he torpedoes your entire plan for your Dark Universe reboot of the Universal horror movies with one lousy movie, and they're going to hire him for the crown jewel of their franchises. I mean, Star Trek is the best franchise in their crown.
And the Spider-Verse. Remember, he was the one set up to do that whole Sinister Six Amazing Spider-Man deal.
Yeah.
He was their man.
Captain Robert April actually said that this is a good analogy. Some people say it's a little different. Alex Kurtzman is like a cultural locust. He comes in, he uses up whatever resources, and he leaves just the landscape of where he's been barren, and it's on to the next, like, you know, crop field to use that up. You know, but let's continue on here.
I was going to let Doomcock do the speech from Independence Day after that.
And actually, I came up with that locust analogy, as you recall, like way back there.
Well, not to take any credit away from you, your excellency, but you know, it is a very accurate and apt analogy, though.
It really is, because my point has been that they look at Jar Jar Abrams like he is, he's made great profitable movies. The first Star Trek movie, a huge profit. The first Star Wars movie, a huge profit. But the problem is that he's like a locust. I mean, he descends on that field and he strips it. And it's very, very profitable for that stripping. But then when he flies off, he has planted the seeds of destruction in that franchise. Same thing with Star Wars. You know, The Force Awakens, a fun little rehash of, you know, everything that happened before. But what did it leave? It planted the seeds for Luke being a coward and a traitor that, like, ran away. He kills off Han Solo, so that goes down the toilet right there. He sets the tone for ruin. He despoils everything he touches and moves on to the next crop.
It does feel like he has a certain level of almost contempt for the series he adapts. Like he
Yeah.
thinks he can do it better.
Well, and
And
Kurtzman's
the
one of his
original-
boys.
Yeah.
was trash.
Okay. Let's move on to final thoughts on this episode. Okay, we'll go around. Doomcock.
It's garbage. It's a waste of time, and they can never seem to actually make up their mind about Vok. I mean, is he Vok altered to look like a human, or is he Ash with Vok's mind imprinted over his mind? You see, because that doesn't make neither one of them makes sense, because they act like it's Vok, but if it's not Vok's body, why are his bones all broken and everything rearranged?
Because
they can't make up their mind.
Don't ask questions. Don't ask questions.
Well, we'll get into that more in the
Well,
next episode, actually, because I've got some beef with that.
I was about to say
you brought that up, Doomcock.
I was about to say because mystery box.
Well, it is. Well, it's not so much that. It's just because plot, like, and fuck it, I'll say it now. Because in the next episode, all of a sudden, he knows all this fucking Klingon shit still.
Yeah.
He can speak Klingon. He remembers all this shit as vivid as day. So which is it? Like Doomcock just said, make up your mind. He's either one or the other. Because if he remembers and all the could still, like, just bring this shit out, what magic potion did they use to just make him Vok all of a sudden? I want to know. It makes no sense.
Okay, we're getting a little ahead of ourselves. Ren, final thoughts on this episode?
It's utterly forgettable. Like, I literally didn't remember it. It didn't add anything interesting. It tried its best to tie up a messy, convoluted series, and it just nothing of note that makes this worth watching. If you don't like Discovery, definitely don't watch this episode. You don't need it.
Tom, even though you said it just a little bit
Well,
more.
yeah, but it's true. This episode is actually the first episode of the second season. Because the logical ending for this season was the last episode where Lorca was killed. When they got back to this time, their prime timeline, whatever. You know, this is just filler, as we've been saying. And not only that, it's just setting up shit. It's ending the shit for this one, setting up stuff for the next episode, which is going to set up the second season, of course. And the way they tied everything up in this episode, so neat in a bow, was just so fucking annoying every other scene. It's like, well, nobody can know about this mirror universe. And like Sarek's like, yes, if anybody knew that they could go back and get people that they love that they've lost, which a lot of people have in this war, that you started, Mikey Spock, you know. That's the other thing they just keep forgetting to mention. But anyway, I'm shutting up now about this episode.
Sarek, I did start the war, but you know I had a good reason for starting it. I was doing it to bring out the best in all of Starfleet. Because without this war... Because, yeah, that's what she was... the best of us have emerged during this war. And without it, we wouldn't be better Starfleet without me. That's why. So that's what she would say. Oh, okay. Well, fuck this episode. Fuck it all the way up its ass with a red hot poker. Okay, that's I remember that from the movie Robbie Benson movie One-on-One. So with Annette O'Toole, who I used to love. Oh, right. I love.
And the worst part is this is probably the most Trek of all the episodes, but it sucks.
I wouldn't go that far.
It sucks. Well, I'm just saying because of the fact of how it's structured. You don't have a shit ton of action beats.
Yeah,
we've been getting. Yeah. You don't have all this ancillary shit. It actually has character moments. It's actually tying up loose ends. It's actually telling a story. But we don't give a fuck because we hate the characters for the most part. And they don't deserve these moments. They have not earned these moments. But
yeah, you're right, Tom. It's exactly right. I mean, they have character moments. They just forgot to add the characters.
Yes. Okay, so let's
in the dark the whole fucking time.
Well, yeah. Blue and gray.
Grotesquely underlit soundstage, hey guys, LED bulbs are a lot easier on the electric bill, okay? But let's carry on. Okay, the final episode of this season, will you take my hand? If that's the question, I say no. Yes. Okay, that starts off, it starts off we're watching the atmosphere burn off of Kronos, but we see that great word simultation. You spend $12 million an episode on this wretched piece of filth, on this cultural piece of vandalism, and you can't even get you can't even hire anyone who can just check the spelling on that. Really? $12 million for simultation.
Worst part is the guy who fucked that up is probably in a union, so he can't fire him.
Right. But it's probably like the plumbing union or something. Like they said, "Hey, Joe, can you do this?" "Ah, sure. What's so hot about this? Graphics? Screw it. Here you go." And they just took it. Okay.
So anyway, Saru, Mikey Sue's helping Saru. Burnham says that examining unease, have to follow orders, someone such ideals. Okay, yeah, they're having a moral crisis about Empress Philippa and Crouching Tiger, who gives a fuck, being part of the crew, because she's been making eyes at Saru, that say, hey, this guy looks a little tasty, So
yeah, because they had that moment where, of course, Saru had to say, you're the only one who could have done it, Mikey. He literally fucking says that to her.
Mm-hmm.
And that's like the proceeding when he finds out in the last episode that she brought back a pet from the alternate dimension.
Yeah. So anyway, but they're giving Georgiou, whatever the hell her name is, they're giving a pretty free reign of the ship, even though she's a homicidal maniac.
Yeah, a tyrant from a parallel universe. That's a good idea.
They don't even assign there is not one security officer on this ship. I swear to God.
There's Bach.
A lot of good he does.
They're inept motherfuckers. That's the problem.
Well, if you're gonna have a homicidal maniac as the security chief,
exactly.
You might as well have a homicidal maniac in charge.
So anyway, Georgiou goes and Mikey Sue's go to visit L'Oreal in the brig, and they're coming up with a plan that they're going to beam down to the planet, and it's just like I said. And Ashes, Tyler Vaughn has got memories now all of a sudden, and he explains, and Mikey Sue explains the plan is to release a drone to the surface and map the planet for military targets that they can attack. Yeah, we're all losing the will. I mean, that's it. I'm pushing the button. That's it. Harvey's being. That's it.
At last, I knew this day would come.
I can't bear this anymore, Harvey. Your time's at hand.
Just call me Calgon. Take me away.
No. I think we should power through this. On second thought, we
Damn you.
Sorry.
Damn
Harvey.
you, Captain Robb, you son of a bitch. I'll be back.
I'll be honest with you, Rob. I think Doomcock has the button booby trapped.
Yeah. Well.
Oh yeah. I only know. I mean, I'm the only one that can throw it because you try it, you'll get fried, you'll get transported in another dimension. There's all sorts of safeguards.
So anyway, back to this abomination. Tyler. Okay, there's a meeting, and they say that they have to beam down to the Shrine of Morlor, and Tilly actually she has the street meat, and she gets infected with some kind of like face grabber alien or something. It's something weird happened to her. So anyway,
she was eating space whale.
Space whale, yeah. Space whale, street meat. What do you call fucking Final Space did the street meat scene a whole lot better. But anyway.
Yeah, they did.
Yeah. Ooh, I love Final Space. But anyway, the party arrives, the outpost, trade Noskins for 2,000 Darsex. Tilly, she pretends to be hungry. Burnham, to pull Burnham out of food. They have to get Burnham away from a food truck, apparently, because that's what we're reduced to now. Hey, the kids like food trucks. So anyway, they go off. Her and Georgiou go off. And so they tell Tilly she was eating Gorgamander meat. Yeah, great. They go to the bar. They have a couple of drinks, and
because they could just fuck around on Kronos, being humans.
Georgiou wants to get her freak on. Yeah.
That makes so much sense.
Yeah, wasn't there a couple other humans on Kronos too besides them?
Yes, there was. Clint Howard actually was on Kronos.
Well, he was green. He was one of the green people. And there was a green chick that they traded arms or gave arms to get through or whatever.
Yeah. Oh, and this is actually the episode we find out a shocking part of Klingon anatomy. They have two dicks.
Yeah.
Which makes going to the urologist just doubly more, painful. So
that's right. One of them is named Alex, and one of them was named Les.
Oh,
they're down to one.
Yeah. So So anyway, Tom, I'm losing the will to live here. So anyway, make a long story short, there's a nuke at the bottom of Kronos, and Mikey Sue gives a big speech to L'Rell about how only she can unite all of the Klingon houses, and because she has the button, and unlike Harvey, there doesn't seem to be a real downside to using it.
It's so, dude, it's just so fucking stupid. I mean, it really is. I mean, it hurts me to, okay, so they go ahead and spare Kronos, right? Mm. And all L'Oreal has to do as the bloodthirsty Klingon fleet is closing in on Earth, and she calls them and they turn away.
Yes, now, because she channels Mikey Sue Spock in her speech. That's why.
Fuck.
Yeah,
so she's her Cyrano.
Yeah. So you see, Harvey. I mean, there's another person who didn't press a button.
Idiots. Always push the button when you have a chance.
That's right. And I think this is one of Doomcock's favorite movies. Kurtzman basically ripped off Return to the Planet of the Apes and got the ending wrong.
Yeah, that's right.
But here's the thing: they let the
beneath planet. Sorry.
But here's the thing the biggest problem. Yeah. Okay. Some stuff you can just kind of okay, fine, whatever. They let the homicidal, tyrannical despot just walk away. Yeah. Really? Do you think Kirk would have let Khan just walk away?
Are you the least bit surprised? They turn around and give the fucking basically war criminal a medal.
Yeah.
Yes.
This is Starfleet.
And Sarek has fucking feelings about it.
Yeah.
That part. Oh.
Yeah, this is fresh for you. You hadn't seen it before tonight, so this is a fresh wound.
I almost fucking threw
I didn't
something.
realize that, you poor thing.
I was like, what the fuck is Sarek doing having goddamn feelings? What the hell is this shit?
Yeah, no, I bitched about that in my review. I was pretty annoyed about that, tender nonsense moment between them, because I'm like, okay, but he's still a Vulcan, and he's not degenerating yet, so...
No. Here's what Sarek
Yeah, he's got affection, but not for Spock. He's got affection for a piece of fucking painted wood, but he doesn't have affection for his son, for Spock, for his real son. Of course, he's not real Sarek. The whole thing is just absolutely disgusting.
Thank you, Doomcock, because that's how I felt, too. I was like, what the fuck is this? Sarek would have been like, you acted adequately to fix the problem you started.
Yeah. Jesus.
That's about all you would have got out of him.
Yes.
Because he's a hard ass.
Yeah.
Mikey Sue, you acted admirably in the situation.
No. He wouldn't even have said admirably. He would have said adequately.
Yes. That's a backhanded. That's
why I said that, because if he would have been, because he's at least, he would give Spock the you did admirably, if he'd have done something good. She didn't really technically do anything good. All she did was clean up her fucking mess, and really she didn't. It's how many fucking people died because of this war?
Half the fleet.
On planets too. I mean, billions.
And they were gone through most of the worst part. So their biggest warship was just kaput, gone.
How many people would you say were on each ship of the fleet that was destroyed? I mean, at least 200 to 300 people.
Oh yeah.
So we're talking possibly 10,000 people, and they just give her a fucking medal.
Oh yeah, but don't forget about the casualties on Federation planets too.
Right, yeah, because they point that out. Because that's one of the things that they get, what's her ass, L'Oreal, whatever fucking thing to kind of turn a little bit and see the ways of the Klingons being wrong is, what's her face points out that they're killing innocents.
Mm-hmm. And like I said, Mikey Spock, And I always say she starts a war. She committed treason. She assaults her commanding officer. She is responsible for the deaths of thousands of Starfleet personnel,
probably millions at this point,
and millions of civilians.
Yeah.
And at the end, when all is said and done, oh yeah, hey, here's a medal. No biggie. That's no problem. Those people, they had it coming. Oh, don't worry about it.
You're a commander now. Let's forget about the fact that you were just in prison.
And just like Alex Kurtzman, she fails upward.
Yeah. And not only that, she's a commander that can interrupt a ceremony conducted by admirals in front of all of surviving Starfleet and keep saying, "This is Starfleet. This is what we're supposed to do." Jesus.
Yeah. Well, Ren, we haven't heard from you yet. Just give us your take on all this.
Yeah. So I'm just a little furious that CBS wasted my time and my money with this season, to be honest. I'm still mad that I gave them money at all, at any point. I'm just... from beginning to end, it's just stupid. The award scene is stupid, the nonsense with her and Sarek is stupid, the inconsistency and incongruity with canon, but also just with the series overall, it's just this rambling mess of nonsense. And at the end of the episode, she basically just avoids the detonation by just politely asking Giorgio not to do it, and then Giorgio's like, "Oh, okay, I guess, all right. My freedom's guaranteed either way, but whatever. Guess I'm suddenly not chaotic evil anymore. That's fine." And you know, so any efforts that they made at characterization are immediately undermined when the plot calls for it. So, you know, they've set her up as this like ultimate evil mirror universe person, except for when she's not. And you know, it's just another example of a messy plot that wasn't properly thought out in a series that is a try-hard disaster attempting to get piles and piles of money.
Which they didn't.
You know, and they didn't succeed because it doesn't have much of substance to offer. This doesn't appeal to Star Trek fans because it doesn't feel like Star Trek. It doesn't have any of the same tone that you would expect from Star Trek. You don't have any like, could you imagine an episode like Data's Day in this show? You know, an episode where they're just dicking around on the ship and it's mostly just a little moment for the characters to interact on a normal day when no horrible catastrophes are happening. You know, can you imagine that? Because I can't in this series, because it's too busy being dark and gritty and edgy to care about what Star Trek was actually about at any point. You know, it doesn't even succeed in being progressive in the way that much older series have. Like, there were much more respectful LGBT and race-based plot lines in earlier seasons of Star Trek. And, you know, like, even with the oversights of being products of their time, overall, they all have more to offer than this series does. It doesn't advance Star Trek. It doesn't advance television. It doesn't do much of anything. And this episode is just a conclusion to an entire season of filler where nothing really happens and the character just learns the lesson that she shouldn't have rashly started a war. Good job.
One of my favorite episodes from TNG is Hollow Pursuits.
I love Hollow Pursuits.
With Reg Barkley?
Yeah, you just get to watch Barkley get addicted to the holodeck and get weird.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah. I'm sorry, go ahead.
No, I was just going to say, it's just great fun. You know, it's...
Well, but the difference here is, I mean, they were capable of taking a character you didn't know, and a character that you had no investment in, and they were showing him, this is just a guy, you know, just a regular guy, and he is a screw-up, he is an introvert, he does not fit in, but they were capable of showing something called growth. And you've had 15 episodes for these characters that you want us to care about, and you couldn't do it, and they were able to do it in 51 minutes on TNG.
I remember side characters from, like, Voyager or Deep Space Nine or TNG or even the original series that are more memorable than main characters on this show. Like,
Yeah.
But we got the Enterprise.
Oh yes.
Oh no. Jeez.
I forgot that they dragged Pike into this.
Like I keep saying though, and like I said to the red shirts, name one character on the bridge other than the main crew, other than Saru, Mikey Spock, Tyler Vach, or Lorca.
I
Dorka,
mean, we're
yeah.
struggling to remember the main crew. So.
Yeah, we're struggling to remember them. Name the other members of the bridge crew. You can't because they're not real characters.
There's one of them, the
Right.
chick with like the thing in her head on the side of her head, like the Discount 7 looking chick.
I call her Lisa Left Eye.
Yeah, I've looked up her name. I've like Googled it for the purpose of my reviews more than once, and I can't remember it. I've Googled her name, and I cannot remember that character's
I remember her name. I remember her name because she actually responded well to a tweet. I said, this character has a name. I've been calling her Lisa Left Eye. And she said, I got to admit, that's catchy. Her name's Emily Coates. And she's a Canadian actress, very lovely young lady.
Oh, no, but is that the character or the actress's name?
That's the actress's
okay,
name.
so I can't remember the character's name.
Nobody
Googled
can remember the character's name.
But I cannot remember the character's name.
Yeah. The character, I looked it up. The character's name is Keela Detmer, but you wouldn't know that.
She probably doesn't even remember the character's name. She
Right.
probably looks at the script and she's like, I'm not even in this episode. She's like, yeah, you are. You got like 5 lines. Oh, yeah, that's right. I'm Keela. I forgot. Because they even give her like 4 lines in the episode or whatever.
Like I said, Tom and I gave names to all the characters in the bridge crew. There's Lisa Left Eye, there's Mrs. T, there's LeBron James, there's Nebula, and the Asian guy is not Sulu. So.
But doesn't Mikey Spock
forgot
basically
Daft
commit
Punk.
treason again in this episode by not destroying the Klingons when she has the chance? Honestly. I mean, we're at war. They're heading for Earth. And all she has is this, Mary Sue kind of instinct that with a phone call, they can turn the Klingon fleet around and end the war. Right. What Klingon fleet is going to go ahead and pull away from the coup de grace, from destroying Earth? Really? I mean, come on.
Oh, okay. You mean to tell me that Klingons aren't fans of retreat? That's crazy. Are you sure?
Yeah.
They get the bloodlust. It's like they are so close. They're not going to turn back. We came all this way. We're going to destroy the Earth.
Not there's anything wrong with that.
Not that there's anything wrong with that. Kapla, Jerry.
I mean, if they destroy the Earth, does that mean we stop making bad new Star Trek series? Because, like, at that point, I think I'm okay with the sacrifice. Like, I'm willing to die for this.
Harvey, it's almost time.
It's almost time. I'm so glad we had this time together. Just to push a button, destroy the Earth.
Yeah, but like I said, it seems like they threw the Enterprise in at the end. It's like, oh yeah, let's just throw the Enterprise in, but they're not even really sure what's gonna happen in season 2. No, they had no clue what to. Let's just throw it in, give everybody a nice send off.
Well, no, they told them you have to, because at this point we can guarantee that they were like, we got to get some shit in here that's going to give people the nostalgias and get them on board.
Get them the feels.
Yeah. Why do you think we got Spock coming in? And of course we knew Pike right away, and all these things they said they weren't going to do.
Yes, indeed. They lie.
And then when we do see the Enterprise, it's obviously not the Enterprise.
25% different.
So tell us again how this is Prime.
It's not.
But and they always dance around that question at Comic-Con or whatever. Just don't worry, you're going to see how this all fits together. Don't worry, we're going to explain it. No.
Yeah, just like Lost.
Doomcock, you're a fan of Community, right?
Oh yeah.
Remember the Abed's Uncontrollable Christmas when he opens up the gift box when it was the meaning of Christmas, the J.J. Abrams mystery gift box. What is it? It's the first season of Lost on DVD. It represents lack of payoff. That's pretty much Discovery in a nutshell.
Exactly, man. Community was great.
Yeah, but like I said, That's pretty much community. That's pretty much Discovery in a nutshell. Total lack of payoff. I mean, it's not even the setup. I mean, okay, let's go around and just give some thoughts on this season. We're going to start with Ren. Okay, thoughts now that we've gotten it out of the way. The whole season, go. The floor is yours. Well put.
I'm just kidding. No, it was just, it just feels like a sad, angry cash grab, and it makes me extra furious because I remember when they were talking about Star Trek Discovery, I was worried about exactly this happening. Like, exactly this thing, which is just a messy shit show that isn't really Star Trek, but is trying to capitalize on the name recognition of Star Trek, but is really just another poorly thought out, convoluted, gritty sci-fi drama with way too much money and not enough passion or sense to make a coherent story that anyone's actually going to care about, be invested in, or remember a year from now. The episodes that we reviewed tonight, I had to look up recaps for because they are so forgettable that I barely remembered them at all. And that's honestly true of most of the season. It's just a blur of flashy special effects and attractive actors who are doing their best with scripts that give them nothing at all to work with. And so we get an empty shell that looks very pretty and has nothing at all of substance to give us, and doesn't feel like Star Trek, and isn't a good standalone sci-fi show on its own either.
It's kind of like a Ukrainian Easter egg, It looks nice on the outside, but there's no nutritional value inside because it's all been drained away.
No. It's like an Easter egg that someone found in July that was forgotten and has now rotted into a green, horrifying liquid inside a still pretty-looking shell.
Okay, that's even better. Okay.
But
Tom?
it wasn't a chicken egg to begin with, though. That's the thing. Because if it was a chicken egg to begin with, that would mean it actually was Trek to begin with. So it has to be like an ostrich egg or a reptile egg or some shit like that.
Ostrich whale egg, because they're small and taste weird.
Yeah, there you go.
Okay.
Okay, so my turn now?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, balls. The only thing, and I like how Ren said it was a cash grab. The only way this could be any more of a cash grab is if they embezzled half of Netflix's money.
I wouldn't doubt it.
But they didn't. We could see on the screen where the money went, at least.
Not the spell checking, that's for sure.
No, it's all flair and no substance. That's what it is, a gold-plated piece of shit. Basically. And that's all they were worried about was just, firing at, all this loud bullshit and da-da-da-da. And I noticed this again, and Mecha Random brought this up, many a time, that these shows are basically made for people who are doing nothing but sitting on their phone and tablet and need to know when to look up. Because Sonequa Martin Green was on Colbert last night, as of this recording, and they showed a bit of the whatever deal from Star Trek Discovery, and oh my god, it was just a loud, obnoxious bunch of noise. I don't even really remember any dialogue or anything. It's like, that's what this show is. It's just a loud, obnoxious bunch of noise. It's a bunch of flash with no substance, as we said a bunch of times. And so, this show is just shit. It's not Star Trek, even as a show on its own. It's shit. It went completely downhill from the beginning to the point where it just dissolved into this gloppy mess of a million other things from Star Trek and other shows and movies. Like, here, look at this cool thing, isn't it cool? When it isn't. And I just want to say, fuck all the detractors who love this show and feel the need to drag down old Trek in the process. That's one thing I want to take my moment to say, because you know what? I've been rewatching a lot of Star Trek Next Generation in proper order and stuff, and I gotta tell you, I'm sick and tired of everybody saying the first 2 or 3 seasons of Star Trek Next Generation sucked.
It holds up comparatively, and the first season was weak for Star Trek Generation, but it still has its moments, and it just gets better as the series goes on. But it's nothing like the first season of Star Trek Discovery, who all the characters are by the end of the first season of TNG.
Well, not even the first season, by the end of the first episode or 2.
Yeah, true. Encounter at Farpoint is memorable, even if it is silly.
Yeah.
Yeah, and so there's nothing about this season that it can stand out to me as far as a memorable episode per se. There's moments that are moments that are memorable for all the wrong reasons. There's shit that we've carried now throughout the show, and it's all the things that are bad about it. You know, how all the mistakes they made, whether it's misspellings or having a gun the wrong way, or just the
or just stupidity,
the
just,
flat
just
out just ignoring of canon altogether, even in areas where it makes no sense. Because I'll tell you this right now, I'm the person who never had a problem where, you know, sometimes you'll have a movie and then they'll do a sequel with a completely different director and shit, and things don't exactly look the same, but that doesn't mean the movie's bad per se. Mm-hmm. It's just that maybe all of the Batman Returns. Look at Batman Returns.
Mm-hmm.
Totally different scheme of how the movie's designed, how Gotham is designed, how Batman's suit is designed, and nobody complained about it. Okay? But this, because the story was good. That's all that mattered at that time. And it's whatever. Those are what they are. Star Trek is kind of the same way. I don't care if you cosmetically update some shit here and there, as long as you stay true to the characters, as long as you stay true to the canon. And as Ren pointed out, and we've pointed out I don't know how many fucking times before this, it wouldn't be a fucking problem if you quit making prequels. You know, that's the only reason I'm looking forward to Picard, because they have no real way or reason to really fucking make it anything other than what it should be, and I'm waiting to see what they do. I'm waiting to see what they do to fuck it up. I know Doomcock will say, you know, they're going to do this, that, and the other, because we've all heard the rumors, and we've heard the same kind of rumors here at Midnight's Edge, and we've even reported on some of them rumors. And the more we look at it, it's like, okay, the way time travel works,
if they fuck it up, I'm not going to watch it. I'm just not going to watch it.
This whole situation doesn't... Here's the thing, is like, basically, because if you watch Back to the Future, the way time travel works, if this is the same prime timeline, it doesn't matter, because Spock went back and changed time. From the moment Spock went back and changed time, that alters that timeline. In most cases, that continuum is not going to continue on, because if you remember, in Back to the Future, Doc flat out says, we can't go to the future, we have to go back in time to where time altered itself to fix this.
Remember the chalkboard?
Yes. So that's what I was saying, that he basically told you that alternate timeline that we were in doesn't exist anymore. So what the 2009 movie does is erase that timeline, basically.
Well, like I've been saying, they want it so that this is the only Star Trek that exists.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, okay. Doomcock. Well, Tom, are you
well, that was yeah, you know, that was carrying off into what's to come with Picard and shit like that. But basically, that's their way of being able to make this all canon and all prime and all this other bullshit. And something's going to happen in the next season to where, like we've said before, where it's going to tie in with some kind of mirror universe or something, or time travel that's going to make all this shit prime. And they say it will line up, but it's not going to line up.
Yeah. Well, anyway, okay, Doomcock. Just
well,
I'm counting on you to really drive this home, Doomcock. So,
well, you know, what do I think of this season? It is absolutely pure hatred. You know, I can't even find a single goddamn thing about it that was acceptable. I mean, that not just that I liked, but that was acceptable, not merely as Star Trek, but as entertainment, as coherent products of a civilization that values reason and is composed of intelligent beings. I mean, literally, I loathe every single fucking thing about this show. There is not one thing you could say other than Tilly, for purely carnal reasons, I have some pictures of her on my phone at a publicity thing with her long curly red hair and her, you know, big boobed personage. That I find her quite attractive. That is the sole exception that makes the rule. Otherwise, every effect is ugly and dark and badly done. Every ship in there is a mishmash of angles and disparate pieces, junk, essentially. that makes a mockery of the original designs of Matt Jeffries, the great Matt Jeffries. Hua Chang himself also is insulted when they actually literally deconstruct his communicator and phaser in the opening credits to make this monstrous piece of filth, this garbage, this nonsense assemble before our eyes, saying, we are going to go ahead and take apart your beloved Star Trek, and we're going to put it together in a haphazard mishmash way that is going to drive you insane. I fucking despise this show with every fiber of my being. I will never forgive anyone associated with it. And I got to tell you, I despair of Thursday because I know that I feel in my gut that this is as low as you can go on a television series, and I know that they're going to beat it. I know that they're going to make it absolutely worse in season 2, and I dread that, frankly. Good God, what does it say about our civilization if there are not people rioting in the streets over this shit that are not even Star Trek fans? This is an insult to cognition itself. Star Trek Discovery, I've said it before, is a disease of the mind. It is like you know, late stage syphilis in your brain, and it just makes you dumber just by existing. So I don't know what else I can say. I despise it. It's the reason that I started my channel, just out of sheer despair and wondering if there was anyone else in the world that hated this crap as much as I do. And thank God there are some people that come close. Rob, what do you think?
Oh boy, well, it's hard to top that. I'll just say that this has been a complete and utter waste of time. It's been a complete and utter waste of time, money, resources. It has been a waste of what little talent there is of contributing to this show. Lord knows you have to really dig to find any talented people. So the only thing I like it, and pretty much the same reason as you, is Mary Weissman. Bless her big boobed heart. She deserves better. She really does. This has been an exercise in what not to do when writing a Star Trek series. This has been an exercise in what not to do when writing a science fiction series. This has been an exercise in what not to do when creating a television series, when marketing a television series, when casting a television series. This has been an exercise in what not to do when producing a television series. This has been an exercise what to do when selecting what not to do, where you're going to choose the proper distribution method for a television series. This has been a failure on so many levels that this really does need to be documented so that nobody ever makes these mistakes again. This is what they call a teachable moment. That you should not do this to Star Trek or any other property. This property has been vandalized. It has been corrupted. It has been sodomized. It has been I can't think of another ized word right now.
Trafficked.
Trafficked.
It has been, yes. The peddlers of this abomination have trafficked in the moral and cultural vandalism and ineptitude and incompetence that we rarely seen in this medium before, and we are not likely to see again until Thursday when season 2 of this travesty appears again.
Well, we have short treks to get through yet too, you know.
Oh my God! Don't
Doomcock is this shit don't end. It's not like it's over. The abuse is back.
Calling it STD is an apt description because it is irritating. It is easily spread through people who are poorly informed. It largely spreads among younger people, and it leaves you angry and remorseful, and it's the result of bad decisions. And no matter how hard you try, it just will not go away.
That's the truth.
And eventually it causes brain damage.
Yes, and eventually it causes brain damage and the ensuing madness, like STDs.
And there's no treatment. What's been seen cannot be unseen.
That is correct.
That's true.
So I'm ready to put a fork in season 1, as far as I want it, as far as possible in my rearview mirror, and I just will say that thank God for the Orville.
Truth.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm so excited about the Orville.
The Orville is just you just revel in the Orville. It is such I've
rewatched all 3 of the episodes that are out so far more than once, and I have not rewatched any of Star Trek Discovery.
Even the sadness of Alara leaving, it's a beautiful sadness. Because
it broke my heart.
It's such a good show.
But it breaks your heart. But it does so in sort of a loving and caring way. No, we don't want to say goodbye to her, but we have to. She's going to be stronger for it. And there's that lesson for it. She's going to not only recover her body, she's going to recover her spirit.
Well,
does anyone know why the hell she actually left?
She's got her own show.
Is that it?
I think so.
Damn it.
And the door's open for her to come back, they said.
Yes, but like I said, we're looking for the Orville is a case study of what to do. This STD is a case study of what not to do.
Well, bringing up the Orville, and the funny thing is, STD is coming back right up against the Orville.
Fools! Fools!
What a desperate fucking move that is.
Yep. It's hilarious.
If they were so secure in its place, they would have left it on Sunday fucking nights.
Especially now that there's no football.
Yeah. Let's talk a little bit not only about that, but about how, real quick, and we'll wrap this up, about our expectations for season 2, how it looks like they're going to Orville it up with the first few trailer we got, or whatever, trailers. I don't know how much lighter it's looking and all that kind of stuff. What do you foresee in the second season? And I know Doomcock and I have a fairly similar theory on what's going to happen between Mikey Spock and Spock. My theory is the same. It is that she is going to be able to fix him, but my theory goes a step further, and they are actually going to combine into one character, and that's why nobody talks about her. Because this is the thing that really I kind of wrap up season 1 with, too, is all the shit she's done in this season. How has nobody ever fucking talked about this? Ever talked about Mikey Burnham? Ever. Consider it.
You'd think there'd be something in a Federation textbook at the Academy.
Even if Jean-Luc Picard would have just once been like, the famous battle where, Mikey Burnham ended the Klingon War or something. It's not like... it's just not... There's no way I can buy into this at this point. That's my biggest problem. Even if it wasn't for the fact of everything that Doomcock and Rob and Ren and I have said already that's wrong with this fucking show, and to even say something that we said before it and RLM made famous now all of a sudden, this is Star Trek made by people who don't like Star Trek, okay? And frankly, Michael Burnham as a character is just an abomination on the whole of Star Trek. Mm-hmm. She goes against everything that Star Trek's about. Because even somebody like Kirk, who doesn't like a no-win scenario and always basically found a way out except for that one time where, Spock died.
Yes.
It's like Chris Farley. You remember that one time where Spock died?
That's kind of a big deal. That's kind of a big deal. That one time you fuck up and Spock dies, that's kind of a big deal. But anyway, it's just, the point is, even in that, you still seen that he was humble. He always did everything for what was best of his crew, and not to have the next scene Spock go, well, Kirk, if it wasn't for you, we wouldn't be alive. It's a good thing you're here. Only you could have saved us. That's what this character is. We've never had a character really like that on this show before.
You know why?
It rubs me the wrong way.
You know why? Because it was Kirk's job! If it's his 9 to 5 to save the Enterprise. That's why! It's just another day at the office for him. Nobody made a big deal because that's what a captain does! For God.
And look, no matter, I mean, you're looking at it like they talk about, her like she was a hero. Look, the larger Starfleet would look at her like she's the biggest fuck up in history. I mean, in the Ultimate Computer, in the scene where Captain Wesley has the first series of war games against the M5, and he's on the screen, and he says, "My congratulations to the M5 unit, and regards to Captain Dunzel." They would have instead said, "In regards to Captain Burnham," and that would have been code, and everyone would have winced for someone who's utterly useless. That's what Dunzel was, if you remember. Slang for somebody outmoded and worthless, a part that serves no purpose. It would have been, "In regards to Captain Burnham." That would have been, if she was there, believe me, that would have been the insult.
Okay, I just want to know where's Nomad that he could just sterilize her out of existence.
Or cute.
Yeah.
But now, to get back to my question though that I presented to everybody, so how do you feel they're going to carry on with her character? Are they like not going to mention any of this shit?
No, they're not.
Because she was pardoned by a criminal, a guy who wound up ending up being a criminal anyway, and she did start the war even though she did technically end it. It caused them, and she was in prison. She never really, to me, I don't know if she ever really actually was pardoned. If you look at it, because I don't even know if Lorca really held that power, because she was still
like basically give her special permission to be out of prison for whatever his purposes were.
That's what it seemed like, yeah.
She did say once or twice, "I go back to prison when the war's over."
Yeah, right. Okay, so let's start with Doomcock then, since you were just talking about Burnham and shit like that with the whole thing with the test and everything. How do you feel they're going to treat her in this coming season after all this shit?
Like the queen of the fucking universe. That's how they're going to treat her. I mean, they're not going to acknowledge any of this stuff. I mean, now she's all just right as rain. I mean, at the end of the thing, like in the last episode, right? Where, Sarek comes by, "Hey, you've been pardoned and you've been promoted and you're going to get a medal and you get to interrupt people at the speech with your asinine comments."
The only thing that was missing in that scene was it was him saying, "When we get home, you're going to get a pony, sweetie." It was such a... Here's where your diabetes thing comes in, Rob, because that was such a saccharine moment there where it's just like, oh, such a sweet daddy-daughter. I wanted to punch my screen.
I'm Wolford Brimley and I have diabetes. Yeah.
Yeah, it's like, now, and you get a brand new Sailot. Don't tell Spock.
Yeah.
After he lost his Sailot, he had to just suck it up. But no, we're gonna get Mikey Spock a Sailot. They're just gonna treat her like a fucking queen, and it makes me, oh Christ Almighty, dude, it makes me sick. The whole thing, she makes my skin crawl. I just feel such anger every time I see her smug wooden face on that screen. I literally feel anger. The only one I hate even worse is Rainn Wilson as Mudd. There's something about that guy's fucking face. I just want to. I cannot stand that character. Because they make him out like he's so goddamn clever, and he's nothing. At least Mikey Spock is taciturn and boring and obnoxious in that way, but he is obnoxious in a flamboyant way that I just want to. Anyway.
Yeah, it's just insane. So yeah, real quick, your predictions for season 2, and then we'll move on to Ren and Rob, and we'll wrap this up.
I think it's going to be horrible. I think that it is an insane religious bunch of crap that Spock is going to find, the good book and get religion, because that's been a theme throughout the whole thing, where Pike was going to be this insane, really, really hardcore Catholic. And that was part of the reshoots, was trying to tone that down, but they still have the Red Angel. They still have Apocalypse. I mean, Spock is on the cell floor scrawling like runes, like he's in some fucking Omen, Omen 3, the Spockening. It's going to be a real shit show of unparalleled disgrace. Rob, or Ren, what do you think?
I'm interested to see how much their attempts to kind of rip off the moments of the Orville are going to come to fruition, because I noticed that discounted elevator scene in the trailer, so I have a feeling they're going to try to hit more of that tone, but they're going to fail because they don't really understand why it was funny. So I think that's also something we're going to see, is where they're going to try even further to straddle a whole nother kind of tone, and it's just not going to work because they just don't have the base there, and so it's not going to feel like it really fits with season 1. And then they're going to alternate between trying to be more fun and more jokey and lighter, and then getting back into their dark, crazy, weird storylines. And so, yeah, it's just going to be a meandering, weird mess where it tries to be everything and ends up being nothing.
Tom?
Well, I kind of already said, but the only other alternate idea I have, besides what you guys just all said, they're going to lighten it up in some ways to try and make it like the Orville and so on. And the thing with Spock is either she's gonna sacrifice herself by combining herself with Spock in some way, or sacrifice herself, and Sarek is gonna blame Spock, and that's why they don't talk about her, and that's why there's animosity between the two. What do you think, Rob?
I think that's not entirely out of the question. As for season 2, they're gonna treat Michael Burnham like she's the smartest motherfucker in the room, and they're not gonna. Everything's just gonna get swept under the rug because, as we all know, she's the bestest ever. And like you could even say when she was on Colbert, they played the clip. And, she was like, "Oh, we don't leave anybody behind." Like she was she was hot shit. She was gonna save Pike. Just the decorated Starfleet captain. She's gonna Mikey Spock can save her. Okay, isn't that right, ladies? Now just position yourselves just in the right place so I can come along and be the big hero. Fuck you, all right? That's all I got to say. Fuck you. Fuck this show. Fuck everyone involved. Fuck Mikey Spock. Fuck Alex Kurtzman. Fuck everybody except Mary Weissman and Emily Coates. We kind of like them. So,
well, I'd like to fuck. Never mind.
Yeah, right. No, and I will say this: if Saru was in any other Star Trek show, he'd probably fit in.
Yes. Saru's the only decent character. Doug Jones, we like Doug Jones. We don't, we made sure we told him on Twitter. It's not. This is not personal. Nothing against you, but and that still stands. But you know what? Like I said, this is going to be, thank God for the Orville, because we can just decompress and just unwind and just enjoy something good from there. And hopefully Final Space will be returning soon too as well. So anyway, I don't have anything else left to say, guys. Yeah. It's getting late here. Let's close here. Doomcock, tell them where they can find you.
I have youtube.com/OverlordDVD is my channel, and I have a Patreon, patreon.com/Doomcock. And I have not reviewed these final episodes per se, but on that site, on my Patreon, you can find my live commentaries as I'm watching all those episodes, including this one we covered, the one before it, all of them.
Didn't you force me to watch those too?
No, I didn't. No, he bailed on me. He said screw that. He wouldn't do it.
Oh, Harvey.
Yeah, he wouldn't do it.
Yeah.
But that's it. Yeah, absolutely.
Ren, tell them where we can find you.
You can find me on the YouTubes at Ren Rants and Ask a Law Student, and you can find me on the Facebooks at Ren Rants.
Yes, Ren's going to defend us when CBS finally decides to sue us. So,
well, just believe they don't sue you until after I've passed the bar.
Yeah,
Right.
I got a couple. I think I have a couple of Me Too moments coming. So you're gonna be on retainer.
Oh,
So-
goodness.
Yeah. So anyway, you can find me at Midnight's Edge After Dark. You can find where we do live shows with Tom. We do got the mini docs coming. We got a lot of stuff in the pipeline. I got my own channel, Robot Shlomo. I'm the only Robot Shlomo on here. And as I always say, if you like what we do, subscribe, click the like button, click the bell icon, head over to the main channel, subscribe there, click the like button, click the bell icon over there, and you can check us out on Patreon. Patreon members get all kinds of bonuses. Early notification of new videos, outtakes, bloopers, lost episodes, behind the edge makeup videos, my 10-minute stand-up comedy set, and more. You can support the channel for as little as $1 a month. And as always, if you don't have the means to support us through Patreon, please subscribe. Please click the bell icon, like, share with your friends, because we cannot do this without you. Isn't that right, everybody?
That's
Yes.
right.
Yes.
Good.
Everybody, I'd like to thank Ren, I'd like to thank Doomcock, I'd like to thank Tom, and I'd like to thank all of you for joining us for this transmission. We are about to bring this to a close. Everybody, final words.
Peace, live long and prosper, unless you're a Drekkie, in which case go fuck yourself.
Yes, I couldn't put it better myself. Anybody else got any final words? Parting words? No? Yes, maybe.
Viva la Orville.
Yeah, Viva la Orville. I
There
like
you
that.
go.
Yes. And I think I speak for all of us when I say, Jaloja!
Jaloja!
Thank you for joining us, and
Now my chair is moist.
Aw. Thanks for joining. We'll get some paper towels for that.
The great release.
The great release is upon us, and we will catch you next time. And this ends this transmission.
If you like this video, then please click the subscribe button. And don't forget to click the bell icon to be notified for all the latest uploaded content. Due to recent changes to YouTube's monetization policies, we'd also like to ask you to please consider supporting Midnight's Edge and its sister channel, Midnight's Edge After Dark, through Patreon. As thanks for their support, patrons will receive early notifications of mini-documentaries, special behind-the-scenes making of the Edge videos, bloopers, outtakes, lost episodes, and more. You can support the channel for as little as $1 a month. Be sure to check back for news and analysis on the corporate politics behind your favorite genre movies, as well as updates and discussion here at Midnight's Edge.